beauty there's an inside, beauty and an outside, beauty there's an inside, beauty and an outside, beauty and it's all a part of me and you. There's an inside, beauty and an outside, beauty there's an inside, beauty and an outside, beauty there's an inside, beauty and an outside, beauty and it's all a part of me and you.
When I'm by myself and I close my eyes, I'm a twin, I'm a dimple in a chin, I'm a room full of noise, I'm a squeaky toy, I'm a gospel song, I'm a gong, I'm a leaf turning red, I'm a loaf of brown bread, I'm a whatever I want to be and anything I care to be. And when I open my eyes, what I care to be is me. Hello everyone, I am Nia Eubanks Dixon. I am the founder of Creative Praxis. I am so happy to be with you all today as we come together to celebrate the 7th day of the African American Museum of Philadelphia Kwanzaa celebration. This is going to be a wonderful time as we usher in celebration, as we usher in deep learning and growing together. So I am, again, Nia Eubanks Dixon. I am the founder of Creative Praxis. Just to tell you a little bit about who Creative Praxis is, we are an art-based, healing center, joy-filled training organization. We work with youth-based organizations, so that could be schools, it could be colleges, universities, youth-based after-school programs. Anybody who works with young people, we want to work with them. We also work with businesses, nonprofits, and community members for the purposes of liberation. At our core as an organization, we provide trainings, workshops, retreats, professional development to help people to be in better relationship with themselves, the land, and each other. So today we are going to be exploring the 7th principle of Kwanzaa. This has been a great time. Previous to this, 6 days leading up to this time when we're talking about the 7th day, which is, you got it? Imani, faith. So I know that for 6 days we've already explored and celebrated and learned about umoja, which is unity. We've learned about kujichagulia, self-determination, ujima, which is collective work and responsibility, ujamaa, cooperative economics, kuumba, creativity. And now it's time for us to look at and to celebrate Imani, which is faith. Now to do that and to do it really good, see, at Creative Praxis, we are an arts-based, healing-centered, joy-filled training organization. And so we fully believe in making sure that we have an engaging time. So in order for us to really engage, to explore about Imani and faith and what that means for our community, I'm going to need you to get 3 things. How many things? 3 things. So the first thing I'm going to ask you or invite you to get is some pieces of paper. So if you have white paper, go ahead and grab that paper now. The other thing I'm going to ask you to get is please grab some markers or crayons, color pencils, whatever you want to use to express yourself. And then if you can, grab some water because it's super important for us to stay hydrated. So go grab those 3 things. Again, you're going to grab some paper. You're going to grab some markers or colored pencils or anything to write with, and you're going to grab some water to stay hydrated. Now, while you're getting those things, again, I want to give a special shout out to the African American Museum of Philadelphia for inviting Creative Praxis to come for this final day to usher in Imani, which is faith. So, as we do at Creative Praxis, we're going to be doing a lot of talking and sharing. You're going to be turning to your neighbor who's either at home with you. You're going to be taking notes. We're going to be singing and moving into our bodies. So one of the things that we like to do just to bring us all back together is you're going to hear me say, I go. And when I say I go, that means for you to repeat after me and say, I may. So let's try it. I go. Wonderful. Let's try it one more time. So when I say I go, you're going to say I may. I go. I go. I may. Wonderful. So I go. Okay. So I go means, are you paying attention? And the response is I may, which is yes, I am. It comes from Ghana, West Africa, from the Akan people, and the language is Twi. So take your hands out like so and go like this and say Twi, Twi, right, like a Tweety bird. So if ever you're out somewhere and you're like, where is the I go and I may from? It is from Ghana, West Africa, and the language is Twi. I go. Wonderful. So if I'm like, I go, you're going to be like, if I'm like, I go, you're going to be like, Amen. So however I say it, you're going to repeat it back to me in the same way that I gave it. Wonderful. I go. Great. So as we prepare to talk about Imani and faith and how do we have faith in ourselves, our families, our community, our people, there are going to be 3 words that are going to guide us in our exploration to help us stay connected, to help us stay grounded and focused. This comes from Baba Chuck Davis, who is behind me here. Baba Chuck was a dancer, a choreographer. He was a humanitarian, and he was really great at bringing people together. Baba Chuck left us with 3 powerful words, and I'm going to teach you those words. So the first word is I'm going to ask you to take your hands like so. Take your hands like so. You're going to put one hand like so. You're going to put the other hand like so. You're going to bring it down and say peace. Let's try it all together. Peace. Wonderful. Let's do that one more time. Peace. Great. So when you think of peace, what comes to mind for you? If you're at home with a partner or a child, or if you're alone, what does it mean for you when you think of having peace? Turn to your partner or your neighbor or your child and just say what peace means to you. If you're home, write it down. What does peace mean? When I think of peace, I think of safety. I have a right to be safe in my body, and you have a right to be safe in your body. When I think of peace, I also think of being present. Not letting everything distract me, but I give myself permission to be present in this moment. Let's bring in some peace today as we talk about faith. Take our hands out like so, and let's try it together. Ready? Peace. Wonderful. The second word is cross your arms like so. Go ahead. Cross it no matter where you are, at home, in the cafe, at your auntie's house, your friend's house. Cross your arms like so and throw it back and say love. Ready? 1, 2, 3, love. We put love in our bodies because love is not passive, it's active. When someone says they love you, it's not what they say, it's what they do. So love is active. When we talk about love at Creative Praxis, we're saying that I am committed to noticing the need that my body needs and doing something about it. It also means that I'm going to notice the need of my community and do something about it. So if I notice that I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink water. If I notice that someone in my community is thirsty, I'm going to provide them with water. So love is about, for me, noticing the need and doing something about it. Taking your hands back like so, throwing it back and say love. Good. So the first word is peace. The second word is love. And the third word is take your 2 fingers, cross it like so, bring it to your forehead like so, throw it out and say respect. Ready? One more time. Respect. Good. Let's do that one more time. Take your 2 fingers, cross it like so, bring it to your forehead like so, throw it back and say respect. Great. So some people say that respect is to treat those the way you want to be what? Treated. But I don't like that definition because how you treat yourself may not be the way that I want to be treated. So in this context, when we're talking about respect, we're saying to choose to see the light. So go ahead and take your hands and go like this and say respect. So before you judge me and you're up here like, oh my gosh, what is Miss Nia doing? You're going to respect and choose to see the light. Same way as we talk and build together in our homes and rec centers, wherever you are, that we're also going to respect and choose to see the light in each other. And most importantly, take your 2 fingers, go like this and say respect. We're going to choose to see the light in yourself. Oftentimes we can be very critical of ourselves and think maybe some not nice thoughts. But today I'm going to remind us to respect ourselves and choose to see the light. So our 3 words are peace, love, and respect. One more time. Peace, love, and respect. Awesome. So those are the 3 words that are going to guide us today as we talk about the 7th principle of Kwanzaa, which is Imani, faith. So when I think of Imani and faith, one thing that comes to mind for me is this. I'm going to ask you, no matter where you are, to put your hands up like so. Everybody, put your hands up like so. And I'm going to ask you to take your arms, and I want you to go like this and say a lot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. A lot. So as we reflect on 2024, we realize that in a lot of ways, 2024 was a lot. There was a lot to celebrate, a lot to give thanks for, a lot to learn, but it was also a lot of sadness, moments that were scary and uncertain, where maybe we felt anxious, right? Some of us lost loved ones. And as we go into 2025, it is a lot. It is a lot to celebrate. It is a lot to anticipate, but there also is a lot to be worried about and, quite frankly, scared about. And so when I think of faith and I think of Imani, I think of faith as being this deep belief in myself, in my community, in my people, that I am rooted in deep connection, that I am rooted in power and the word, the power to manifest. We all need faith, right? Because things are a lot. What faith does is it allows us to know that we can believe in our people, we can believe in ourselves in the midst of trying times, in the midst of hard times, that we come from a mighty people. When I think of that deep-rooted, it reminds me of a plant. At Creative Praxis, we have a lot of plants at our Center for Liberation. And one of the reasons why I love plants so much is not only because they're beautiful and not only because it brings a sense of calm and peace. Like, have you ever been in a nature walk and just been around beautiful trees and flowers? It just makes us feel, it makes me feel at least, really peaceful and calm. But one of the things that I love about plants, like let's look at this plant here. If you notice, what are some of the colors? It's green. I don't know if you can notice. It's also white and it's beautiful. But beneath this, there's something that's holding this plant, that's giving the plant its nutrients, it's grounding the plant, it's anchoring the plant, it's connecting the plant to everything that it needs. Do you know what that is? Can you name that? What do you think that is? That's right, it's the roots. So the roots of the plant is powerful because it gives the plant its nutrients, it grounds it, the plant, it communicates the different parts of the plant and gives it what it needs so it can grow and blossom. I think about that in relationship to us, to our people, how we come from mighty roots, mighty people who gave us everything that we need to sustain ourselves, to thrive. And that allows us to be able to have a deep connection and deep belief in ourselves, others, and the land. So when I think of that, I think about that our roots are really teaching us 3 things. Put your hands out like so and say 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 3. Wonderful. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3. 3. 3 things that the roots are teaching us, our roots. Our thing that grounds us, that gives us what we need as a people. Just like the roots of a tree, we have roots. And our roots are teaching us and have taught us, 1, and we're going to try this together. So if you're somewhere at home, I'm going to invite you to stand up, and we're going to practice what our roots have taught us that allow us to have faith and deep belief in ourselves, deep belief in our community and our people, so that we can not only survive but thrive. So the first word that I want to bring our attention to is, I want to bring us our arms out like so. Bring your arms out like so. Good, and I want you to bring it together like so and say connection. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Connection. Wonderful. The next word that I'm going to bring our attention to is, you're going to bring out your hands up like so. Bring your hands up like so. And I'm going to invite you to say power. Ready? Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Power. Great. So our first word is connection. Our second word is power. And our third word is the word. Ready? One more time. The word. Got it? Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. The word. So when we think about our roots and what our roots have taught us, the nourishment, the grounding that our roots as a people have taught us, so that we can have faith in ourselves, in our community, in our people, is that it taught us that we are connected. It taught us that we are powerful, and it taught us that we have the word to bring forth all that we need and want for us to thrive and grow. So with that, I think about this bag. Now, I carry bags with me because I like to have surprises, and I like to ask people if they can guess what's inside of my bag. So I'm going to ask you all if you can guess, what do you think might be in my bag? Now, to give you a hint, it's more than one thing. So let's see if you can guess. What do you think it might be? Now, I'm going to give you a hint. It is around connection, power, and the word. What might it be? What might be some things in the bag that might be in connection to connection, power, and the word? Any guesses? Go ahead and write it down and see if you got it. Turn to your neighbor or turn to somebody in your house and say what you think it might be. Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it long? Is it short? What do you think it is? Well, let's look in the bag. Let's see what it is. Let's see what the first thing is. The first thing is yarn. So when I think of yarn, I think of my mother, who is a storyteller. And whenever I see it, I think of the story that she told me around connection. Connection is an important thing, my mother would say, because it teaches us how to come together and be together as a people. So I'm going to tell you the story of connection. See, when I think of connection and when I think of my mother, I think of I got you. So throughout the story, you're going to see me put my two fingers like so. You're going to see me go like this, and it's going to mean I got you. So whenever you see me go, you're going to say at home, I got you. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think we can get a little louder. 1, 2, 3. I got you. Awesome. So whenever you see me do that in the story, I want you to say out loud, I got you. Wonderful. Now, a long time ago, there were 3 birds, and these 3 birds were best friends. They did everything together. And as it were, that one day it was time for the birds to go from the north to the south to go into warmer weather. So as they're planning the trip and thinking about the route that they're going to take, they're thinking and planning and moving together. And as they're thinking, one bird says to the other 2 birds, yo, y'all, no matter what happens on this trip, I got you. And the other birds are laughing. They're like, yeah, no matter what happens on this trip, I got you. And so they're smiling, they're laughing. They began to fly up into the sky, and they're going down south. And as they're flying and talking and laughing together, one of the birds starts to realize that his wing isn't doing so well. And pretty soon it's hurting, and he says, you all, I think I gotta land. My wings are messed up. So they go down and they're making sure and they're checking on their friend whose wings were messed up. And they're like, man, what are we gonna do? We can't leave you here because you know what? I got you. So they're thinking and planning, and the one with the hurt wing looked around and he looked down and he saw, what do you think? A vine. And he said, I got a great idea. You can take one side of the vine and wrap it around your body. And the other bird who's well can wrap the other side of the vine and wrap it around their body. And I can sit in the center with my beak, and then we can fly up. The 2 birds was like, yo, I got you. So they fly up into the air, and they're doing their thing, and they're going down south. Now, lo and behold, there are these 2-legged creatures that are walking on the earth. Do you know the name? What do we call 2-legged creatures who walk on this earth? Can you guess? 2-legged creatures. That's right, humans. So 2-legged creatures are walking on the earth, and they're doing their thing that some humans like to do, which is what? Hunt. And they like to hunt, what do you think? Birds. So as these 2-legged creatures that we call humans are looking around to hunt birds, they look up in the sky. And one of the hunters says, hey, Joe, look up there in that sky. Do you see that? I see 2 birds hanging on and 1 bird by its beak on the vine. Bill, you right. I never seen such a thing. Now the hunter said. So one of the hunters called out really loud, "Hey, you birds out there, whose great idea was it to do such a thing like that?" Now the bird who thought of it was the bird that was hanging on by the beak, felt really proud of himself. And so really loud he says, "It was mine." Now some people would say that's the end of the story, but it isn't. Because remember, his two friends made a commitment that what? I got you. And so those two birds drooped down really quickly, flew down, threw the bird up, wrapped it up, and the bird grabbed on by its beak. And so they were able to get away. Now when they landed, the bird that was holding on by the beak was able to turn to his two friends and say, "I'm sorry. Although it was my idea, I could not have done this without you. Thank you." And from that day forward, I will always remember that in order for me to fly, it takes my community. See, when I think of connection, I am always reminded of how, as African American people, we have always supported and helped each other out so much. So much to the point that we've been able to overcome so many things and not only thrive or survive, but to thrive. I think about the story of John C. Robinson. Have you heard of that story? John C. Robinson? See, in 1935, Italy wanted to invade Ethiopia. Now, African Americans in this country was like, that is not going to happen. And so do you know what happened? African Americans in this country joined together. Not only did they protest and they boycotted, but they also joined together to say, we're going to help you fight to make sure that the Italians don't invade Ethiopia. And do you know that 8,000, that's right, 8,000 men from Chicago joined together, 5,000 men from Detroit, 2,000 men from Kansas City, thousands of people from Harlem, and many other places from around this country joined together to support the Ethiopians from stopping the Italians from invading them. Now, unfortunately, the United States government did not allow all of those African American men to come in. But two men did come in, and they were pilots. And one of those pilots was a Tuskegee Airman, and he helped Ethiopia defeat the Italians, or to help the Italians. And not only did he help them, but he also was the one that created the Ethiopian Airlines, which today is the largest airlines in Africa. His name is John C. Robinson. See, that's the power of connection, us joining together, and that's in our roots. We are people of connection. So this is what I would like for you to do right now. Wherever you are, I'm going to ask you to please grab a piece of paper. Go ahead, grab a piece of paper. Wonderful. And I'm going to invite you to grab something to write with. It could be a marker or a crayon, a pen, anything that you have. And I'm going to ask you to write 3 things. How many things? 3. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to write as we think about the power of connection, that we need to all come together and work together so that we can fly. And historically, that's what our people have always done. We have come together and supported each other so that we can fly. So the first thing I want you to do on your paper is I want you to write the name of one person who supports you. One person who what? Got you. Write that person's name. And if you need help from your parent or your guardian, ask them. The second thing I want you to write on your paper is who's one person that you got? One person that you feel like, I got you, that you support. Write that person's name down. One person that you feel like you support, that you got, that you want to uplift and help them to fly and soar and grow. Wonderful. So the first one you're going to write on your paper is I'm going to ask you to write, who's a person that got you, that supports you, that wants to see you fly and grow? And then secondly is, who's a person that you got, that you want to support, that you want to help to see fly and grow? And then finally, the third thing that I want you to do is say, talk. That's right, talk. So on your paper, I want you to write for number 3 is talk. And I'm going to put it on my paper. So number 1, who got me? The second one is, who do I have? And then the third thing is, talk. Number 3 is talk. And what I mean by that is that oftentimes we forget that everything we need as a people, as a community, is right here. That if we turn to our neighbor and talk to them and get to know them, we will find that the doctor, the lawyer, the teacher, the cook, the chef, the entrepreneur, the banker is already here in our community. Now, if you are a child, you are going to need to do this with your parent. But the next time you go to the movie theater or to the restaurant, I want you to turn to your neighbor and just say, hey, how are you today? What is your name? And then start engaging in a conversation around what are things that they do and can do to contribute to their community. And what we'll find is that all that we need is already here. That is how we build legacy. That is how we connect the way that our ancestors have before. Wonderful. Take your hands out like so, bring it out like so, and go like this and say connection. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Connection. So as we think about faith and being deeply rooted in what our roots are telling us that we are connected. Wonderful. So now let's look in the bag and let's see what else we have. So we know we had the string, which made us think about connection and how powerful we are and how much connections we have already in our community. Let's see what else is in the bag. Now, I think it's 2 more things, definitely. And it seems like it may be hard. Let's look in the bag and see what we think it is. It is a rock. Now, rocks are really important. At least in my family, they are super important. Rocks for us and my family make us remember power and strength. Power and strength. When I go out to the beach or if I go to a new place, I always want to get a rock because rocks are a source of power and strength. When I think of power and I think of strength, I think of Harriet Tubman. Have y'all ever heard of Harriet Tubman? I am sure you have heard of Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was an African-American woman who fought for the liberation and for the freedom of all people. Harriet Tubman said that she was not going to be a slave and wasn't going to stay one. And not only was she not going to be a slave, but Harriet Tubman worked tirelessly to make sure that all of her people are free. See, Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff. Wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave and didn't stay one either. And didn't stay one either. Farewell, she sang to her friends one hot night, ran looking for her freedom. She ran away that hot dark night, ran looking for her freedom. She ran to the woods and she ran through the woods with the slave catchers right behind her. She kept on going till she got to the north where those mean men couldn't find her. 19 times she went back south to get 300 others. She ran for her freedom 19 times to save black sisters and brothers. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave and didn't stay one either. And didn't stay one either. When I think of power, I think of Harriet Tubman. Just like this rock, Harriet Tubman was powerful. So, power. As a people, when we think of our power and being rooted and reminding us that we have power individually and collectively in our body, the ability to self-determine, to name ourselves, for ourselves, to come together so that we can thrive. I think of Vincent Thomas. Vincent Thomas is a wonderful human. He is still with us. And Vincent Thomas taught me this, and I'm going to teach it to you. No matter where you are, I'm going to ask you to stand up to your feet. Yep, stand up no matter where you are. I'm going to ask you to put your feet together so your feet are close together. And then we're going to just slightly move our feet apart. And we're going to do these words together, and I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. So first, you're just going to take your hands out. You're going to look at your hands. Take them. Look at them. Notice them for a moment, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, we're going to inhale and exhale. And as we inhale and exhale, I just want you to notice your hands, the lines, maybe they're ashy, the veins. Are they clean? Are they dirty? We're going to put our hands like this in a circle, and then we're going to take it the other way. And now I'm just going to invite you to repeat after me. You see these hands? These are not your hands. They are mine. All mine. Go ahead and move your hands around. Good. Go ahead and tap your shoulders like so. Move your shoulders back and move your shoulders forward and repeat after me. You see these shoulders? These are not your shoulders. They are mine. All mine. Now go ahead and tap your rib cage. Go ahead, because whose rib cage is it? That's right, it is your rib cage, so do not be afraid to tap your own rib cage. And you're going to repeat after me. You see this rib cage? This is not your rib cage. Go ahead and move it. It is mine. All mine. Good. Now go ahead and tap these hips. Whose hips are they? Your hips. So do not ever be afraid to move and tap your hips. Go ahead and move your hips to the side and side, up and back, side to side, and repeat after me. You see these hips? These are not your hips. They are mine. Go ahead and move it around. All mine. Now turn to your neighbor, if you have someone in the house with you or wherever you are, and repeat after me. You see these legs? Let's go and move these legs up and down. These are not your legs. They are mine. All mine. Now turn and move your feet around, your ankles, and move them side to side and up and down and all around, and repeat after me. You see these feet? These are not your feet. They are mine. All mine. Take your hands and put it to your brain. Look to someone around you, next to you. Maybe it's your cousin, your sister, your parent, and look at them in the eyes and say, you see this brain? This is not your brain. It is mine. All mine. Put the hand to your heart. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out and repeat after me loud and proud. You see this heart? This is not your heart. It is mine. All mine. Lastly, just put your hands and tap all over your body. All over your body. Tap, tap, tap. And now repeat after me one more time. Do you see this body? This is not your body. It is mine. All mine. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And say one more time. It is mine. All mine. Wonderful. Now, sometimes when we do this, we laugh and we get uncomfortable about moving and grooving our bodies, our head, right? Our rib cage, our hips, our legs. But it truly is our body. I want you really quickly to turn to your neighbor and just say why it might be important for you as a child, as a parent, as an adult. Why might it be important for you to say, this is my body? It is not yours. It is mine, all mine. I think about my child. I have a son, and one day an adult grabbed him by the arm and proceeded to drag him to another spot. And my child looked at that adult and said, you see this arm? This is not your arm. It is mine, all mine. And that adult let go really quickly and was like, okay, I'm sorry. Now, later on that evening, the adult called me and was like, where did your child learn that? That is so powerful. So we're going to take just about 30 seconds or so, and I want you just to turn and just talk to each other. If you're at home by yourself, write down for a moment. Why might it be important for you to say, this is your body? It is not the other person's body. It is yours, all yours. Why might that be important? Take a couple minutes and write that down. Why might it be important to say, you see this body? You see this brain, it is not your brain. It is my brain, all mine. We're going to take a couple moments and just talk with the people in your household, or just journal for a moment. Why might that be important? Letting the ideas and the thoughts come to mind. Why might it be important? Taking some time to talk and communicate. Wonderful. Turn to your neighbor wherever you are, and I'm going to ask you to lift up your hands like so. And we're going to go like this, and you're going to give them a high five, and I want you to say, oh yeah. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Again. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. You're going to give them a high five with both hands up, and turn to them and say, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So it is important as we think about power to be in our bodies, to remind ourselves that we come from a mighty people who have been in their bodies, who have a practice of being inside of their bodies, of speaking power to each other, to our people, of moving in that way. That the world sometimes is going to try to make you believe that your body is their body, but your body is your body. Our body is our body. And so we stand in that power. And that helps us to know that we can move forward individually and collectively and as a community because we have power. Awesome. So let's go back to the bag for our last thing. So if we talk about faith, we talk about faith as a deep belief in ourselves. Faith is a deep belief in our community and our people, that we acknowledge that we are deeply rooted in our what? Connection, that we have what? Power. This is our body. And then finally, let's see what the last one is. Digging in the bag, digging in the bag, digging in the bag. The power of the what? This is a marker of the pen. The power of the pen to create the word. The word. We have power with what we speak to ourselves and what we speak to each other. When we talk, you see this body, that's power. We're affirming ourselves and affirming other people in our community that we are mighty, 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 mighty people. I think about all the artists and poets and MCs that speak life and blessings. I think of people like James Brown who said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. What you say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I think of the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and I think about the ways that we sing and affirm each other. Words have power. It allows us to speak blessings to ourselves and to others. So what I'm going to invite you to do for this last exercise is I'm going to ask you to grab a sheet of paper, one more, I promise, and I'm just going to invite you to fold it like so. Fold it right so, almost like a hamburger. How you would with a hamburger. So you see? Wonderful. Hamburger. So fold it like a hamburger. Make a good crease. And I want us to, on this one side of the paper, I'm going to invite you to take a couple of minutes to write or to draw. What is one hope or wish that you have for yourself? I want you to speak love. I want you to speak light. I want you to speak a blessing. What's one hope that you have for yourself as we go into 2025? What's a wish? What's a blessing that you would like to give to yourself? And it's not just about what you can have, but maybe a blessing of who you are as a person. So we're going to take just 1 minute or so, and I'm going to invite you to draw out and write out the blessings and wishes and hopes that you have for yourself. On the other side of the paper, I'm going to invite you to write and draw a hope and a wish that you have for our community. What's something that you want for your family or for the people that you live with and around so that they can fly just like those three birds? What is a hope and a wish as we enter into 2025 that you have? So we're going to take a couple of minutes, and I'm going to ask you to just think about and draw out that hope and that wish. I'm going to put some music on, and as you hear the music, just let yourself go and blossom and just relax. So I'm going to step away to give us some time to really think, and the camera's going to keep going. But again, on one side of the paper, you're just going to write your hopes and wishes for yourself, similarly to what we did here. And then something that maybe you have for your community. I want us to think of a wish for yourself and a wish for your community. Let's take about a minute and a half to do both. A wish and a hope. And soon you'll hear music. And as the music comes on,
there's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. There's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. There's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. And it's all a part of me and you. There's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. There's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. There's an inside beauty and an outside beauty. And it's all
continuing to write and to draw.
I love my eyes. I love my
What is a hope and a wish that you have for yourself? Words become power, and we have to learn to write it down to make manifest what we want and what we see for ourselves and for our community.
I say please and sorry, and that's alright. I use my words to be polite. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. With snacks and toys, I always share.
Take about
To show my
15 more seconds.
how much I care. I am beautiful.
What do you hope for your community?
I am
What do we want to speak
for
next year? Good.
I say nice things.
Awesome. So we're going to take about 30 seconds, and when you're done today, I'm going to invite you to share what you wrote. Share with your parent or guardian, share with your child, your cousin, your auntie, share with your partner. If you're home by yourself, call a friend and just share the blessing. What do you hope for yourself? And what do you hope for your community? And speak it. Words have power. I think about hip hop. I think about jazz. I think about how we started with just speaking it and creating it and talking it. And that talk became made manifest. Words have power. So I'm going to end with this idea of words. And I'm going to teach you all a very quick song before we close out today. And the name of this song, it's a call and response song. And wherever you are, you can sing it, even if you're somewhere with a lot going on. And it goes like this. You're going to repeat after me. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. I am here, standing strong in my rightful place. One more time. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. I am here, standing strong in my rightful place. Awesome. So you're just going to repeat after me, and the words go like this. Ready? Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. I am here, standing strong in my rightful place. One more time. Good. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. I am here, standing strong in my rightful place. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. I am here, standing strong in my rightful place. This time just a little bit louder. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. We are here, standing strong in our rightful place. One more time because I'm feeling it. Here we go. Solid as a rock, rooted as a tree. We are here, standing strong in our rightful place. Yes, in our rightful place. In our rightful place. In our rightful place. In our rightful place. The word. Take your hands here and go, word. The word. Our words have power. Our words have power to connect us, to bring us together. And so when we're out in community after this day of Kwanzaa and on this day, let's speak blessing to each other. Let's speak blessing to our plate, to ourselves and to others. Because solid as a rock, rooted as a tree, I am here standing strong in my rightful place. And therefore I speak blessing to myself and I speak blessing to others. And that's what our ancestors gave us. Our ancestors reminded us and poured into us to know that we are powerful and to speak blessing to us so that we have all that we need. So just like the roots of a tree, you have mighty, mighty roots. And as you go into 2025, as we go into 2025, let us remember to have belief in ourselves, to have belief in each other, in our community, and our people, because we have connections, we have power. Throw your hands up like that, and we have positive words. One more time, connection and power and the word. Connection and power and the word. And the word. Wonderful. So at Creative Praxis, we end everything. This final day of Kwanzaa, Imani, faith. I know we don't know what 2025 is going to be, but I do know one thing, that we can move in it with the faith of knowing that we have mighty, mighty roots and that we are standing on great nourishment, great grounding, great connections, that all that we have, we already have it right here, right now in our community. So the next time you see a string, remember that you have connection, that we can turn to our neighbor. The next time you see a rock, remind yourself of how powerful you are and our community is. And then finally, when you see a pen or a paper, I want you to write down and speak blessing to yourself and your community. So as we close, I want you to stand up. And I just pause for a second just to get inside of our body as we prepare to close out together today. I'm going to ask you to take your hands up like so. Lift it up high, 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 high. And reach out and bring it up like so. And I just want you to repeat after me. Thank you, body. One more time. Take your hands up. Thank you, body. Last time. Thank you, body, for keeping us while we were here, learning about the three elements of faith, learning about connection, learning about power, and learning about the word. So thank your body, tap it and thank it, knees, and all the things that your body did. Thank you for singing your voice. And so we close out this way at Creative Praxis. We're going to put our hands out like so. Go ahead, put your hands out one more time. You learned this in the beginning, but we're going to go through it again. You're going to repeat after me. Peace. Love. respect for everybody. All the power that has ever been is right here, right now, inside of me, inside of you. I am because you are, and you are because I am. Today, we choose Imani. Wonderful, which is faith. So go out, let's stand together, let's be together, and let's be reminded that we have mighty, powerful roots that connect us, that give us power and allow us to speak the world in which we want to create and be in. Again, special thanks to the African American Museum of Philadelphia for putting on another wonderful year of Kwanzaa celebration. We talk about all the wonderful ways that we can bring in umoja, unity, kuji chagalia, ujima, ujamaa, kuumba, nia, and imani, which is faith. Again, we are Creative Praxis. So wonderful to be in space with you all. Happy Kwanzaa, everybody. Deuces!